Hey, Tanya.
Hey, Anna, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm Tanya.
And I'm Anna.
We're the Paradise Patriots. Aloha.
Aloha.
So the other day I reposted something that Gary Hooser posted on his blog, and I put it on our page, and I just wanted to kind of run down it. A lot of people might not have taken the time to read it, and it's actually a really important point that he was trying to get across here.
And when you were explaining it to me, I really felt like the way that he framed that actually is so doable.
So doable for us.
That I felt hopeful.
Right?
It's dangerous to feel hopeful, but I did.
I know, because whenever I feel hopeful about politics, I remember Obama.
Well, and it seems like so overwhelming to try to figure out what's going on in the Senate and why nothing can get done.
Well,
but
here's
all
why.
the wrong things get done. So yeah, explain it, because I think it's we should as a state, even though we're a fake state and an occupied state, but we have to deal with what we have. I'm just saying that because I don't want any of my Kanaka friends to come back to me and go, Navahini, rah. It's like, I get that, but we have to deal with what we have right now.
We do.
So I think
Still
this
have to work it on this level.
Yeah. This is something we should organize on.
I totally agree. So he posted this on August 2nd at garyhooser.wordpress.com. Organizing the Senate, Inside Baseball, Hooser Policy and Politics. Question. What's the most important number in the Hawaii State Senate? Answer, 13.
I thought it was for a coven, but it's not.
That's good too. Well, this is how we're going to match that.
There you go. Okay, go for it.
We will come up with our own coven. There's 25 senators. 13 is a majority, and majority rules. There are 51 members in the House, and thus 26 is the magic number there. So any senator who has 12 solid friends can basically run the show.
That is
13 votes decide who will be Senate President, the Chair of Ways and Means, and the rules of the Senate. A core majority of 13 senators determines the composition of and consequently control of a majority of the seats and votes on every committee, and thus controls which bills pass and which do not. This explains so much.
Yeah.
It makes me want to scream. So basically what he says is the process isn't pretty. If we replace the word control by the word manage, it's somewhat more palatable. We don't want it to be palatable, people. Let's just call this what it is. To be clear, each senator is technically independent, Gary says, but within the core majority, bonds are tight and loyalty to leadership is the norm. Organization can happen at any time, but typically occurs to some degree at the end of every 2-year election cycle. So when the Hawaii State Senate organizes, it means 13 or more senators agree to who gets what in terms of committee assignments, leadership positions, and other benefits and trappings of power and position. This goes from everything from where your office is in the Capitol to your budget to your freaking parking spot.
Yeah, and who's what you're going to take home.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so negotiations for these positions in power will occur between individuals and between factions or small groups of senators who have banded together out of friendship, ideology, or pragmatism, quote unquote, survival, which is true. So behind the scenes, labor unions, business orgs, and a host of professional lobbyists, insiders, and political operatives will be leaning hard on the Senate organizers, attempting to influence the outcome and protect their own particular special interests. The two most powerful positions in any legislative body would be its administrative head, which is the Senate President, or in the House, the Speaker, and its money chairs, which would be the Senate Ways and Means or the House Finance Committee. So historically, these two positions would be divided between two different factions, which would then balance the power, rather than allowing it to be concentrated in two individuals from the same faction. So a recent reorganization of these positions in both the House and Senate does not appear to reflect this important power balancing dynamic. And he's talking, of course, specifically about Hawaii here. Following election cycles or other events that disrupt the vital 13-member core, there will often be an entirely new leadership structure established, and all or most positions would be impacted. So senators who are part of an initial 13-member core majority will be rewarded by a leadership position or a committee chairmanship. The senator who occupies that vital number 13 swing vote position often achieves inordinate benefits due to his or her leverage. How does that make you feel? Yeah. Anyway, he goes on and on. So basically what they end up doing in this group of 13 people, they're going to start protecting each other. Mm-hmm. And so how do they protect each other? Well, that comes in the form of shielding their friends from having to vote on controversial issues, which is why bills die in a committee with no vote, no discussion, because if one person wants the bill because his constituents want it, but he doesn't, that person doesn't want another senator or more than one senator to have to vote against it, or whatever the situation is, they're protecting them from having to actually choose a side.
I was just going to say they're protecting them from being exposed to their constituency as selling them out.
But they are.
Is that it? That's it, right?
But they are,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they want to maintain their power and control, and they want to keep that leadership intact between them, because it's like a verbal or nonverbal agreement, right? It's really disgusting. Anyway, Gary says that reorganizations are a reality of any legislative body, and they can be executed in ways that benefit the public interest or in ways that are detrimental to that same interest. And of course, the state epic fail this year
was a
grandly
display of that.
Yes, it was. It was disgusting. So, anyway, kudos to Gary Hooser for putting this out so clearly, and how excited we were when we thought 13 people across the state.
That's absolutely doable.
How do we elect 13 people that we want across the state? You know what I mean? I mean, that's what the county council does. Right.
They hooey up on 4 or 5 basic things on the platform that they can all agree on, and they become a quorum.
Right. And so that's what we need to do at the state level. And a
13 and 26.
Awesome.
13 and 26. That's
13
absolutely
and 26.
Doable.
Absolutely doable.
And we probably have, several of them there already.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We definitely do.
We won't name them.
They're just all in the minority right now. They're not.
But what would we have to add to that of the 13? 5? Maybe. And of the 26,
a lot more in there.
Probably like 10 or 12. Yeah. I'd have to look at who's who,
but wow, this makes
it's doable.
It seems doable.
If we unified across the state as progressives and backed progressive candidates, new candidates coming in, but also who's already there that could form the 13 and 26.
So, right.
13 over 26 equals
power, right. It equals
power.
It equals people power.
Yeah.
So this is doable, guys. So
Gary's blog is awesome.
Yeah, by the way, I'm just looking at some of his other posts, and I highly suggest people go to garyhooser.wordpress.com. I'm going to start following.
And I so appreciate his really explaining, because it's such a, it's so mystifying. Even, for me.
And frustrating.
And both. So when someone brings breaks it down to that point of this is what you actually need to do, it makes sense, it's grounded and down to earth, and it's doable.
And
that's
someone
what I
who's
so
been
appreciate.
There and who understands it from the ground level and
I really appreciate that. Just like Russell's video when he came out and told the truth about what really went down.
That video with him and Josh.
I so appreciate that.
I agree.
I really appreciate
this
you,
Russell.
This is
information that people need to hear so that we can really band together. The midterms are coming up really quickly. Really quickly. It's election season already.
Yeah.
So if we want to be truthful.
13 and 26.
Let's do it, Hawaii. Yeah. Let's do it, progressives. Let's get
motto.
These idiots out of there who don't give a flying about the people, the Aina, the animals, the fish. Everything. It just goes on and on.
Education, you name it.
Education.
You name it, they don't care.
They care about their own power. They care about their title,
lobbyists.
Their committee.
Yeah.
They care about their donors.
That's it. It's bottom line.
But everything else comes after that. And so if that's the way it is, they need to be voted out.
Adios, amigos.
Don't even call them amigos.
Benditos.
Well, benditos. Adios, banditos. Well, I'm Tanya.
And I'm Anna.
And we're
the Paradise Patriots. Aloha.